There we go. Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to my 1 year, wow, 1 year post-op video of my two-level fusion of my neck. I can't believe it's been a year. A year has flown by so fast. I can't tell you how fast it's flown by. So I think I'm making this video just to clear up some myths about fusions, and some common concerns and scare tactics that, not scare tactics, but scary things that people are usually asking questions about. Also to tell you how I'm feeling. Before I go into that, I think the first question I always get is, what were your symptoms? And my symptoms were, I'll tell you guys because I think that's really important. My symptoms were whole body weakness. That's exactly what I had. If you go back on my other videos, if you look at the thumbnails, you can see the severe spinal stenosis, the central stenosis going on as well. C5-C7, 2 levels, which is the lower levels. See if I can see my scar here. So you see this one scar over here. That's the most recent scar from artificial disc replacement that I had at C3-4. That's not what this video is about, but here's the second scar where you can barely see it. It's very small. You can barely see it. It's right there, though. I didn't put anything on it. That is the one thing. I did not put anything on it. So whole body weakness was really my big concern. It was to a point last year where and it wasn't only that, but that was one of the things where all my legs and my body and my arms and everything were so weak. I was walking, I felt like I was just going to collapse. That's how bad it was. And then it was worse when I went driving one day. It felt, both arms went tingle, numb, and I lost complete feelings in my arms whatsoever. I had to pull over. As soon as I pulled over, I got up, went off, stood up, went off to the side, walked it off, and I was better that way. But clearly there was still something going on. That's when they threw me into what they considered an urgent surgery at the time. I think that clears that up. I think that's basically the big things that right now, today, if I were to tell you both of those things, are they there anymore? The weakness comes and goes every once in a while. It's not whole body weakness, it's more right-sided weakness. It comes and goes, though. I do have a lot of pain in my neck right up here still. I'll get to that in a little bit. I am going through physical therapy, another round of physical therapy. It's about 3 months post-op of my artificial disc replacement. And when I showed them my MRI before all this happened, new physical therapy place I'm going to, by the way, showed the owner the MRI today, and his reaction to me was, "That is the worst I've actually ever seen," is what he said. And I told him, I said, "I've seen a lot worse." And he goes, "No," he goes, that's the worst I've ever seen. He goes, "Maybe it's a lot worse." He goes, "But I've seen worse MRIs out there." But anyway, I basically gave him my history, and that's what he told me. But then I showed him what happened after the ACDF surgery, the 2-level fusion, and how the spinal cord was now decompressed and fluid was going through it. And he said it looked much better, and that was on the goal to healing. I cannot stress enough how thankful I am for the neurosurgeon that did that surgery. I do want to throw that out there. While I'm not 100%, because there are still some issues that occur, those issues are mainly when I'm driving still, that's what I'm trying to address now, and those are my main concerns. But he got me on the road to recovery, I think, at this point. I'm gonna start with myth number 1 here, because a lot of people think that this is an immediate fix and they feel immediate relief. Yes, you might feel immediate relief, but it may not be an immediate fix for you. It wasn't an immediate fix for me because I had long-term damage going on for 6 or 7 years. So it wasn't immediately, I might have felt some immediate relief, but it wasn't a fix. It was that when you're talking about that type of surgery, it is to stop the progression. So at that point, it's to stop the progression and decompress the spinal cord, which is always a goal. Stop the compression, take out the discs completely. He completely took out the discs, and he came back and said, "If you have any more problems, come after a year, come back to me." Unfortunately, had problems a little bit less than a year. 9 months into it, and they wouldn't move. The surgeon wouldn't move, unfortunately. And I went to a different surgeon, and I got a couple other opinions, and different surgeon was willing to work on me, but for something else. But anyway, uh, and it wasn't an adjacent level. It was because the level above and level below my fusion are actually pretty good. So what am I experiencing now? Yeah, I still have a lot of pain up there. I know a lot of surgeons say, "Oh, we can't go by on pain alone in the neck." That's kind of, I hate it when they say that, because if you look at the MRI, I probably don't have anything being compressed right now, but it does sound like something's broken up here. It just sounds like something breaking apart or something up there. Even with the actual artificial disc that I have put in place. But everything from down here, from like basically down here below, is great for infusion. So I took, I would say, about a year or so, maybe a little less than a year, to really get that. Yeah, probably about a year, maybe about 11 months to really start feeling right. Okay, so I say myth number one has kind of been busted there about it's an instant fix. It is not an instant fix. It is not just a. It's not just a patch you up and get ready to, and you're ready to go out there and whatever. It is not like that. Believe me. Myth number two, that I will bust this myth right now. I will have swallowing problems. That is a common myth that a lot of people are afraid of. That is something that a lot of people report commonly. Um, but it's actually, believe it or not, it's actually while it's a common problem, it's not a problem that happens frequently. You might see a minority of patients having this surgery report that problem, and when you look at that, you actually don't realize that those patients are the minority that are having it. So, for example, you might have 1,000 patients that had an ACDF surgery in a month, but let's just say 3 out of those 1,000 patients are, or maybe 10 out of those 1,000 patients are reporting that they can't swallow, they can't eat, their throat's closing up on them. That's a very, 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 very small minority of patients that are reporting swallowing problems. So that is a myth that I'm going to bust, because I did not have any swallowing problems, and I had 2 surgeries, and I had 0 swallowing problems, which is good. I was very, very happy to learn that. Myth number 3 that I want to bust a little bit more is more geared towards the folks that don't know what we're going through. It's something that really bothered me a little bit more, because they sometimes you have family or friends, and they think that you're immediately good to go after the surgery, right? And you're not. And then they come back and they tell you, "Oh, well, I get pain in the neck from time to time, or sometimes I feel my hands tingle, and then this and that." And they're like, "You have no idea what that is compared to what I have." Like, or so sometimes I feel weak if I don't eat too much or something. No, 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 nothing like that. Nothing at all like that. Um, I will easily say that a lot of family and friends have said that to me. I've seen it said online as well across some people that have experienced the same with family and friends. A little disappointed that family and friends are saying that to you folks. I'm very sorry when they say that. There's nothing you can say or do to change their minds that their body is not feeling what you are feeling, which is extreme pain, which is extreme weakness, which is all the tingling and numbness that you're feeling. They just don't realize that, and it's just very unfortunate that they don't realize that. The only way they'd realize it is if they actually switch bodies with you. Then they'd be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this person's dealing with this." So yeah, that is another thing. Myth number 4, I'll be able to return to the things I like to do, or return to work and drive within 2 weeks. Don't expect it. Just don't expect it. I did that twice so far. I returned to work after 2 weeks. I went driving after 2 weeks. I'll be honest with you. I still don't feel comfortable driving some days. I think I started feeling a little bit more comfortable after my second surgery, but maybe at about I want to say the 2 month mark, maybe even the 3 month mark. So they even say the 6 week mark is probably where you should be aiming for. Um, do yourself a favor if you can help it. Um, Try not to return after 2 weeks. Uh, the only way that's possible, I think, is if your injury or your problems that you're having are more recent. Like, for example, if they happen within a year or two, or they just happen more recently, and it's kind of more of like a fix at that point. Then that's a fix to me. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't go there just yet. If you can get someone to drive you around, do it. Wear a neck brace if you're a passenger in the car. Um, Definitely, I've learned that. As a matter of fact, if I'm a passenger car, not only am I wearing the neck brace, but I'm sitting in the back seat too, where I feel much more comfortable because my head is not leaned back as much and whatever. Myth number 5. Speaking about head leaning back, this is an interesting myth because a lot of people actually feel more comfortable this way. But I'm gonna bust this myth a little bit. The recliner is your saving grace. I actually was in more pain with the recliner, believe it or not. Because the way my head was backwards, I have a plate and the screws up here trying to keep my neck up. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. And I'm like, oh man, what do I do? How can I keep this up or down? And my neck, and there was so much strain going on there. It just wasn't helping me at all. And it was a very comfortable recliner, but it just wasn't helping me at all. And I couldn't sleep in it. Finally, eventually slept in my own bed, which I guess that would be another myth is, sleeping in your own bed is more comfortable, but I guess I'll keep this hand in hand. Slept in my own bed, but I did have to change positions of the way I was sleeping. So I couldn't, I was normally a stomach sleeper, now I'm a side sleeper. And even still, I still feel like I have problems. So, yeah, there you go. So that is myth number 5. I'm trying to think of some of the other myths that can we can talk about here. I guess I'll talk about another myth. It's not really related to ACDF, but it can be to some folks. Myth number 6: an artificial disc replacement is better than a fusion. In some cases, yes, depending on your age, the structure of your bones, and in the way you can handle it. For other folks, no, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, usually when you're older, they opt not to go for that. A lot of people report more success with the fusion. They see that as the gold standard, and that's just basically what it is. I have both in my neck right now. I'll be honest with you. The honest opinion right now is that I think the fusion is working better than the artificial disc. Granted, I think the artificial disc is still progressing, and there's a lot to go with that. But again, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get an extended fusion, just because I think 4 levels might have been okay, but it left me with that option still. But the gold standard is that fusion, and a lot of folks feel much better after that. So yeah, that's it. So that's myth number 6. Myth number 7: I will fuse very quickly. No, you will not fuse very quickly. Do not, and you will absolutely, depending on what your body is and how fast you heal. I fused probably, I want to say probably at the 9 was August. Let me just see when I fused. When do I want to say? August, September, October, November, December. 6 month. I fused at the 6 month mark. I at least had evidence of fusion going on. At the 9 month mark, it almost looked like full fusion at that point. So it was less than a year. Some folks, they think, I'm going to fully fuse in 6. You're not going to fully fuse in 6 weeks. Might you fully fuse at 3 months? Maybe, depending again on your body and what you're doing, and how you heal. Possibly. Usually they say 3 to 6 months, but for slow cases. But if you have multiple fusions going on, multiple levels getting fused, expect 6 to 12 months, if not longer. And yeah, it is something that has to be you have to be well aware of. Constantly get your X-rays and your imaging, and leave it at that. All right. Myth number 7: I can't get an MRI or an X-ray with the fusion in my neck. Absolutely not true. You can. You absolutely can. Matter of fact, you could do a lot of things with the fusion in your neck. I think that you just need to make sure that if you have something major going on, go ahead and do it. That is myth number 7. I think you can definitely get the X-ray without any problems. You can get an MRI without any problems, though insurance may not approve it right away. They may wait. They may wait until that, you know, after the 3 month mark just to see, and you might have to go through all the steps. Speaking of steps, myth number 8: I have to go through all the steps in order to push myself for surgery. No, not necessarily. Though for insurance purposes, you probably will need to go through at least 6 weeks of physical therapy first, and then from there they'll make that determination. How long have you been having these symptoms? What is it? What have you attempted? Have you attempted physical therapy before, or any kind of other work, maybe chiropractic work that you might have attempted, or something? Definitely be honest with your surgeons as much as possible. This way they can push insurance a little bit more. Otherwise, you're going to be going through 6 weeks of physical therapy, then injections, and then actually they'll probably do first: 6 weeks of rest and medication, and then they're going to do 6 weeks of physical therapy. And then if that fails, then they're going to push through injections. So you're going to be talking about, I don't know how long. They're probably going to watch you for 3 months after that. So you're talking about six. You're talking about almost now. Wow, four, and then then you're really talking about maybe 7 or 8 months before they're going to push a surgery on you. You want to push as much as you can. You make sure you go through all those steps first before you go to a surgeon and talk to them, because then they can push a surgery on you. And it also really depends on your MRI. If your MRI showed what mine showed was severe stenosis, and that's the wording that really moderate to severe stenosis will get you that surgery. That's the wording on there that will get you definitely the surgery. Then, as long as you mention to them about your symptoms and how severe your symptoms are, then they'll probably push for the surgery a little bit more. I don't know if I'm on myth number 9 or 10. I don't remember. No, I don't have COVID. Sorry. I have a tickle in my throat, but it has nothing to do with ACDF surgery. I guess I think it's myth number 10. Chiropractic work will solve this problem. No, it won't. No, it will not. Believe me. Believe me. Stay far away from chiropractic work. Maybe if you have mild stenosis or just a herniated disc with no stenosis, you might be able to solve some of that with chiropractic work. But definitely stay far away from chiropractic work. As a matter of fact, chiropractic work, I believe, made me worse, which is very unfortunate. I think a few years ago, it kept me at bay, but chiropractic work later on made me worse. On top of that, I think an accident also made me work. I was hit from behind a couple of years ago, and I was already not doing so great, but I was able to get through the day and get through the days. But after I got hit from behind, I started feeling a lot worse after that, and my body just broke down because of this. I guess that's a good myth about the chiropractic work, and that's it. Myth number 11: this only happens because of an accident. Not true. There are other reasons why this could be happening. I said chiropractic work for me made it worse, and I think an accident made it worse. However, it was already pretty bad to begin with. There are a lot of factors that can come into play, such as postural positions, right? That's one thing. Your diet. As you see, I'm pretty fat right now. So your diet can also play a factor into that. I've gained a lot of weight since my surgeries. I would say probably when I had my first surgery, I was at 178, and now I'm probably at about 228. So what is that? 70, 88, 98, 108. So about 50 pounds. I've gained about 50 pounds since then. Now, granted, this is what I was before my surgery, before things broke down. And maybe not this much. Maybe I was about 30 pounds lighter, but it still was pretty big. I mean, it puts a lot of strain on your neck and your back. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'm probably going to be starting a little bit of a program for myself just to get back on track. Um, more, I don't want to even say diet, just more of a program, more healthy eating, more staying focused on that, and more PT at home. Definitely, you know. But anyway, yeah, other things can play into factors, such as your lifestyle and your activities. You sit down a lot, absolutely, you're going to have problems with your back or your neck if you sit down all day long. The other thing is that if you are active in sports, I was active in hockey. That can take its toll too. You know, you might be doing damage you don't know you're doing, and you may not feel that until 2 days later. Uh, so yeah, that's something else there. Yeah, I'm trying to think what some of the other myths are. Um, I don't think there's much really to consider. I guess you know. Oh, I guess myth number 12: you will be staying in a hospital overnight. That's not always true. Some hospitals want you out in and out of there in one day. I'll be honest with you. From my first surgery, I wanted to be out of there that same day. I woke up from that surgery and I wanted to be out of there that same day. But um, the the other thing is that I also was forced to stay in there because my insurance wanted to make sure, and the doctor wanted to make sure I didn't have any setbacks, right, for a day. So they kept me in there for a day for 2 levels. Honestly, I felt I was in more pain sitting in a hospital bed than I would have been sitting at home. That's my opinion. The second surgery I had, I went home the same day, and I felt great that same day. But the next day, I was actually in a little bit more pain. It took about 2 or 3 days to wear off, but it wore off eventually. And okay, that's a good thing to talk about. Myth number 13: you need to take pain medication. No, you don't. You don't need to take pain medication. I have had every pain medication thrown at me. Yes, you'll have to take it before your surgery. They want to make sure you get that. But every pain medication I've had thrown at me after my surgery, I've taken zero pain meds for this. I've sucked through the pain. Pain can range anywhere from, say, at a good day, a 2 out of 10. At a bad day, say an 8 out of 10. It can very much range, and I take zero pain medication because I know there are other ways to manage pain than through medication. Stretching works out. I'll show you some of the stretches that really help you. I think this can help a lot of folks. So keep in mind, I have an ACDF surgery as well as a artificial disc in my neck. So this will kind of give you myth number 14, that you will lose all range of motion. You will not lose all range of motion. I think once you get the lower levels, you don't really lose range of motion. If you're a higher level, you lose range of motion. But let me show you, because these are exercises that help. So bend right. That's actually pretty good for an ACDF and I could probably go further down than that. That's probably about it, but that's pretty good. And I can feel it all right here as soon as I do that, right? So I feel it all right there. So sorry, bend left. Sorry, this is bend left. Um, so that's where I feel it right there. I feel so good when I do that. It stretches it out. It feels great, right? So this is my favorite exercise right now. And I've learned this through physical therapy. Thankfully, the girl that's doing the physical therapy with me right now, she has been putting me on a very tailored right track of doing physical therapy. And whenever I see another therapist there, I just basically go right at it. Myth number 15 is to make sure you do your physical therapy. Absolutely, but you don't have to do it right away. Physical therapy may not solve everything, but it can help you. It did help me. It's helping me the second time around. So let me bend right. So there is bending your right. There it is. And that one's a little tight, but not that bad tight. I think it's a pretty good tight for me. I actually like that one. I don't feel that bad up here. It doesn't feel as tight compared to the other side. The other side is having major issues, that right hand side. But it's not bad, right? So that is one of the things. And the other one that I think can help out sometimes, I'll show you guys this one as well. So you go like this, you go like that, and you look down. And you hold that for 5 seconds, and you come up, and then boom, 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 and you come back, and you turn your head again. And as you can see, my range of motion, is really good when I'm turning my head left and right. as you can see, so that I'm not losing that range of motion, which is really good. Important to note that. Okay, so that's a good one. And then the other one, you could do this as well. On the other side, you can probably do the same thing. Then look down, right? And then you come back up. And then you see, I hear a lot of crunching and grinding when I'm doing that up there, which is very unfortunate. And that's kind of, that stretch that I'm doing is trying to eliminate that, but it's not eliminating it just yet. I usually, though, every time I do this and keep it at bay for a while, it does that. Okay, and then there's another one with the ball. I don't know where the ball is, but I'm not, and that's the one that feels the best. You hold your ball against the wall, or you can do it this way too. Just put a little resistance, just a little, not hard, just like, you take your hand, you put it on the side of your head, and you push against it just a little bit, and then you have that, and you're good there. And then you do it on the other side as well, same thing, and then that's that, and then your chin tucks. Do that as well, and keep doing those every day. If you can do it multiple times a day, that's even better. And find the time to do it. That is my big problem right now, is I'm not finding the time to do this every single day, and I need to. So really, I don't know if we want to go over to a myth 15. I don't know if there's 15 myths now at this point. Okay, I guess myth 15, you have to wait for a second surgery. No, you don't have to wait for a second surgery. While most surgeons are going to tell you they want a year healing before they do anything, if you're still having some issues after a few months, you absolutely should go and seek another opinion. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to seek another opinion from a different surgeon who might be willing to move on you. And if they're willing to move on you and you think it might help you, do it. Just do it. Don't be scared of a second surgery. Try to try to avoid a second surgery first of all, if at all costs, or a third surgery, or anything. But yeah, I mean, clearly there's a lot. Yeah, I think that covers most of it. I think at this point, just follow the rules. I mean, I guess is really what it is. Don't overdo yourself. If you feel like you're at a point where you are, you're home after 2 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, and you feel like you can lift 1,000 pounds, don't even try. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone for a while until you get that clearance from your doctor, and then once your doctor gives you that clearance, then you can start doing that. Granted, try to avoid bending as much as possible, or if you are going to bend a different way. Bend with your knees is what I would suggest. So don't bend forward especially if you have a 2-level fusion or a 3-level fusion, and then to have it so your head's like that, try to go ahead and bend at your knees if you can, or bend, and if you need to lift something up, or if you have to look underneath something, say you have to look underneath the table, don't bend underneath and try to look underneath there. Get down, crouch down a little bit, and look from that. Or if you have to get on the floor and look underneath, that's fine too. I will say that a lot of the things that I have going on are, I've been doing some yoga stuff a little bit here and there. I do feel good after I do that. PT the second time around now, I do feel now there's a difference. Usually it lasts a day, maybe two, before it stops. So I'll be going to PT more frequently. I'm hoping that I can continue this on through most of the year, just because I think it's going to help until I get to the point where I feel right. I do have goals, so set yourself some goals, what you want to accomplish, what you want to do after the surgery, and a timeline. Set yourself a timeline for those goals. I put a timeline for myself, and I wasn't able to do some of the stuff that I wanted to do still. So that's when I went back, because I knew I still had another problem. I'm setting now another timeline where some of my goals are like, hey, let's drive a little bit longer, see how that works out. Put yourself in a little bit more uncomfortable situations to do it. And if you can't, make sure you pull over or something. That's one of the main goals I have. Or get out a little bit more to, say, your favorite restaurant or something. That is another goal I want to accomplish. I still haven't done so. I've been to one of the two, but not the first one. So do that. And set some other goals. Strengthen yourself up. Well, I think that's really it. Big one. Do you have other goals? Stuff that you were limited on. For example, I'm limited on going to large scale events because the pressure on my neck is so bad when I sit down. That is a long term goal for me to try to get to those, or getting back into playing ice hockey, which is another goal as well for me to try to be able to do that. So set yourself some goals as well. It may not, just realize it may not take a 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, or even 12 months to accomplish those goals. It may take you over a year. It may take you over 2 years to accomplish that goal. Just remember to take things slow. Things are slow. Things, progress very slowly. You have to take it slow. It's not instant. It's not a right away thing. You have to remember that, and just be open and honest with anyone that expects too much out of you. Just tell them you can't. If you can't do it, just tell them you can't do it, and explain to them why you can't do it. Some people don't understand, and that's okay if they don't understand. Just be okay when they don't understand, and it might frustrate you that they don't understand. And if they still expect you to be somewhere, still expect you to do something, and you can't do it, you know what? It's okay to not be there. Just don't show up. It's unfortunate, and explain to them later. Hey, I'm still not feeling right. I tried explaining to you what's going on, but I'm still not feeling right. So don't get frustrated if friends and family, expect so much out of that. I actually had to miss my aunt's funeral. My aunt died last month, and I had to miss her funeral because, my neck still wasn't feeling right. Still is not feeling 100% right. Even if it was today, I still wouldn't be able to go. It's very unfortunate that has to be that way. Anyway, I just figured I'd give you guys some advice, some myths, and tell you how I'm doing. 1 year post-op ACDF. I will update you guys again after. I don't know, when should I update you guys again? Let me just see. I've been 3 months now, so it's probably about May, June, July, August. It's probably about, May. So May to June, July. So it's not even 3. Actually, it's not even 3 months. My artificial disc. August, September, October, November. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wait till the end of the year to give you guys an update how I'm doing. End of 2021, I'll tell you how I'm doing, because at that point I'll be definitely 6 months post-op from my artificial disc replacement, and I believe that will probably be about August, September, October, and November, almost about a year and a half ACDF too, about a year and 5 months. So I'll give you that, and then after that, I'll update you guys a little bit more. 1 year post-op of ADR, and at that point, and see how we are next year. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone found the solutions to your problems, at least, or got put on the right track for things. I know it's really tough. Hang in there. I promise you, it's more scary than what you think it is. You think it's more scary than what it actually is. Sorry, I meant to say that way. You think it's more scary than what it actually is. It's if you have a problem and you feel that problem right away, don't be afraid to go to a doctor and to get you on the right track, and make sure you pick a doctor you're comfortable with, and preferably a doctor that's within your insurance too, but one that you're comfortable with to do this, and don't hesitate to see multiple opinions, and be open and honest with with every doctor that you're seeing multiple opinions. If a doctor doesn't support multiple opinions, get out. They will not support you then, and you don't want that. I've been fortunate to find 2 doctors that have supported multiple opinions, which is really, really great. The first one, I think his work has been fabulous. I've done a great job with that. I really, like I said, I really wish that he would have moved on the other stuff, but again, it is what it is. I'm going to work through it the rest of the way through PT. I'll tell you guys how I am probably towards the end of the year after PT is done. I should see improvement at that point. Maybe you'll even see me lose a little weight through PT and other stuff. Anyway, enjoy. Peace out, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your summer, fall, and I'll see you in the winter time. Unless something else happens, hopefully not. But I'll see you in the winter time. Take care, everyone. Later.